Hey, what's going on, Papi? What's going on, Papa? What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls? It's Saturday, right? It's Saturday. Let me just double check. That's right. Saturday, May 22nd, 2021. Here we are. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all safe and sound wherever you are in and around this world, man. What's been going on with you guys? I've been doing a lot of walking, if you're asking. Okay. If you're asking me what have I been up to, I've been doing a lot of walking. Went for a long, took a hike. Took a hike, that's right. Took a hike yesterday. Probably around 16K. That's right, I said it, 16K. That's my normal, I'll do that once or twice a week at least. Start from my place, head all the way downtown, boom, do a little loop de loop and head back. Roughly 8K south, 8K north. That's how we do it, man. Got a lot of my legs are feeling it today, so it's nice. I'll probably, go for a shorter walk today, but that's what we do. Get around for hikes, go around for exercises, and that's what I'm here to do. Encourage all you guys to get out there as well. It's summertime, almost summertime. So let's get it going. Things are starting to loosen up, although, it could be going a little bit faster, but whatever. It is what it is. We're just going to have to be patient. I know it's been, yeah, but I'm hearing there's now easing up. I think some like outdoor recreational facilities are opening up, water parks and all that jazz. So it's nice, man. Let's get people out there. Let's get people exercising. Let's get the blood pumping. That's what I'm talking about. Went for a long walk yesterday. That's right. Went for a long walk and came across. I came across a couple of gargoyles. On my path. Just was at a building that I hadn't noticed before, a couple of gargoyles, and it just made me think. I'm like, what were gargoyles made for originally, like back in 1776, give or take a couple of years? Don't quote me on that, but I think originally they gargoyle was kind of like what the owl statue is to the birdsies, because if you put an owl statue on a tall building, it's going to deter the other flocks, like pigeons, sparrows, gulls, from inhabiting that place. And I think that's what it was. It was they put the gargoyles up back in 1776, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they made it sort of deter people from climbing on buildings. That's essentially, because at the time, I think Hunchback of Notre Dame was really like popping. He was a big, big icon everywhere, and everybody wanted to be like him. And him and King Kong, they were like big 1776, if I'm not mistaken. Really big icons, and everybody. The thing was, if you wanted to, show any signs of like progress, you'd essentially want to like climb a building. Especially if it didn't belong to you. You'd want to climb a building, hold on, and just just grab onto something and like look off into the distance for a couple of hours, and that'll just that you would have definitely made an impact. And that's what a lot of that's how it was. That was a lot of talent. That was a lot of oomph. Took a lot of chutzpah, if you will, to get on top of a big building. Because back then you probably had like art. Again, I think it's like 1776. I forget the exact dates, but they probably had archers and whatnot to like shoot you down as well. But I think originally we went with gargoyles because we're like scarecrow for the people, essentially. It's either that or some other, like, that's the, what other purpose could the gargoyle, it's deter people, because unless we had like other forms of humans like intermingling, and it was just like, ooh, they don't like the look of the gargoyle, let's just put them up on the building so these guys don't climb, or I don't know. But legend has it, it's meant to deter people from climbing buildings, which got me to think. Sometimes I do think about like life is kind of like a video game, especially now. I don't believe it. I don't believe we're in like a simulation or anything, but sometimes it's nice to think about it in that sense, kind of, because like it's fun to play games. And yeah, man, I was walking yesterday and I put on my headphones, walking down Young Street, walking up Young Street, I was listening to different types of music, and sometimes I like to listen to, I'll spice it up. Yesterday, I think I was just going for retro wave or synth wave, 80s, just like, video game sounding beats. And what I did was I was just like walking down on the sidewalk, but I decided to, take a little bit of a detour, if you will, because you could always walk on the sidewalk, but if you've got like a little garden set up, there's a little tree, there's a patch of grass, and there's a little elevated ground, what I would recommend is put on your headphones and listen to some synthwave music, something resembling like an 80s video game. And if you start going up and down steps or places that you'd normally not walk on, it really does feel like a video game, and it's just like boop 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 boop, and you just jump and hop from like step to step. It's hella exciting and exhilarating, and at the end of the day, what the point is to eventually get from point A to point B. So if you get home, you've made it, and that's it. That's pretty much it. The game was over. It was really fun though, I'll tell you that. A lot of people should definitely try it. I mean, you could always, like, normally what do you do when you can always do the classics? If you're walking on the sidewalk, sure, you can use your feet, but spice it up, because like, it's time to build up those immune systems and get your knees dirty, get your hands dirty. Walk on your hands. I don't see that happening often. It's a shame. Use your hands. Again, what do we say about big hands? Big hands are good for holding on. Big legs, on the other hand, no. You're getting away. Can't be trusted. So I'm walking, right? I'm walking, I'm listening to music, taking in the scenery, looking at buildings, looking at people, and saw a bunch of, I saw a lot of homeless people, dude. I saw a bunch of homeless people, and it's on the rise. It's been a tough year, and it's like, man, past this one guy, you guys, I passed this one guy, and he's like, hey, do you happen to have any change? And I legit didn't have any change, because who carries change anymore? Unless like, yeah, who carries change? Unless you're like a grandma, or like maybe a grandpa, dude. You know what I'm talking about? No disrespect to nobody. It's just I've not been a change person for quite some time. I would imagine I would start doing, like, I would definitely change back in like the day, but it's something you've outgrown. I think it's something that I'll have to come back to as I get older. Hopefully coins are still a thing back, in the future, so I can grow old and have big pockets, big pockets, like deep, shallow pockets with little coins in them. Clink, 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 walking around town. Ooh, what's he got in his pocket? It could be keys, but it could also be change. Or it could be a combo of keys and change, so who knows? Like, I just want to be able to spice it up is all I'm trying to tell you. And I was walking, so I saw this guy, and he said, do you have any change? And as I'm walking by, I said, no, I'm sorry, dude, I don't have any change on me. But I took a couple of steps forward, but then I realized, your boy likes to, and I'm not condoning anything, but I happen to have my pack of smokes with me. So I'm like, I turn around, I'm like, hey man, do you happen to smoke? And he's like, yeah, I do. So I offered him a cigarette, and not to make anything out of this, but I kind of like, I sometimes, it's what I said afterwards that just like made me feel like a dum-dum, but it was all in good intention, I think. I hope. I was. That's the thing. I offered the cigarette, he took it, but then it's like, when you like greet somebody in the street who you don't know, you might say hi, hello, you might open a door so they can like enter a coffee shop, and you say thank you, you say please, or whatever. You have all these little like tiny little generic small talk phrases that you throw out there, right? Like, have a good one, catch you on the flip side, break a leg, depending on the situation. But this transaction or interaction happened, and again, I offered him this smoke, and he took it, and he thanked me. And as I was walking away, I legit told him, have a good one. But man, he caught me right there. He just looked at me, he's like, you serious? And that was just like, that was my brain not thinking, right? Because I'm like, obviously, like how, I'll say like have a good one, but how good is it gonna get for this dude? And he legit called out my ignorance, I guess, but it wasn't coming out of like a place of like, it's one of those things you just say. I say to everybody, if I see you in the elevator, got a little bit tongue tied there. Shit happens, all right. It's Saturday. It's for the Patreon edition, all right. We're just doing the best we can, growing one step at a time. But point is, if I see you in the elevator and you're like, hopping off at first floor, I'll be like, hey, have a good one. Have a nice day. See you later. Take care now. Something along those lines. You'll say something, and just made me feel a little bit, like, ugh, here I am. I thought I was, doing something nice, but then I said something that, made it look like a stupid act of like, as if, like, I don't know, darn it, it was weird. So I just want to share that with you guys. It was like, should have just like zipped it and walked away. Here you go, zip it, walk away. Don't make small talk sometimes. But then again, I like small talk, and I didn't want, like, I was just like, I was legit just, it's one of those phrases. Have a nice day. Have a good one. See you around, but like, you don't want to see him around in that condition. See you around. See you soon. It's like, here? Let's do something about that. Let's do something about that homelessness issue, because it isn't. I saw a ton, dude. I saw a ton downtown. Ooh wee. It's definitely an issue in a lot of places, and it's just like, we've got a ton of resources, so let's fix it. Let's fix it this year or in the coming. Let's do it, man. We've got a ton of resources. It's just a matter of how we're allocating these bad boys and bad gals. I'm talking about the resources. But that's what that was, man. I had a great walk, besides the little awkward interaction, but happens. You gotta put yourself out there. That's what I'm trying to say. A lot of exciting things happening. What's happening in sports? I wanted to talk a little bit about sports. Well, let's talk about, hold on a second, let me just check the date. Bear with me a few seconds, because I do want to check the date. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. This is going to be, I believe, June 5th, if I'm not mistaken. June 6th. Okay. Cool. Who do you guys think's gonna win? I'm interested because of a particular reason. I guess this is a time where we'll get a chance to see. I've always been curious, and I guess I heard a little bit about this. And because I'm curious to know, is it gonna be? Because Floyd is obviously like one of the best, if not the best, right? And I'm no expert in boxing or MMA or any of these things, but I'm interested. I've always been interested in sports, athletics, all that jazz, and it's just cool to see a fight, because now you'll have a guy who's smaller but very skillful, and then you'll have another guy who's relatively a little bit bigger, right? Got around, I would assume, 40, 50 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, over Floyd. So it's interesting to see if sheer size and power can outdo skill sets. I guess I think there's probably like a fine line, right? Probably a fine line between, there's probably like, a sweet spot, or like a certain degree of, because I've always thought about that. You don't necessarily need to be the biggest guy to take out a big guy, but being a big guy definitely has its advantages, right? But also comes with its disadvantages as well. So it again goes to the degree of skill versus the degree of weight and power, and also skill set as well. Because if it's like, if it's just like somebody who's just, tall and overweight, and it's going up against a smaller dude with a lot of skill, tall dude's probably gonna get their ass handed over to him. But if it's, again, it's within degrees, right? So it's just like, well, we're gonna find out, and I'm excited to see that. Who do I think's honestly, I don't know who's gonna win, because it's interesting, because Floyd's getting, well, very talented. I got a lot of respect for like what he's done in his career. Jeez Louise, the record, and one of the best, if not the best, right? But there's always father time. Like there's the age factor, and then there's the, again, and so too in reverse, right? Because our other dude's younger, bigger, probably healthier, because he hasn't, and yeah, it's interesting. I'm eager to find out. It'll be, yeah. It's a tough one. It's actually a tough one. It's not so easy. You can't just be like, yeah, it's gonna be Floyd, or it's gonna be no. It's we're gonna have to wait and see. But I'm excited. Also, I'm very excited for, if I'm not mistaken, May 29th is, I didn't want to talk about it low-key because there's like a little bit of, you don't want to jinx your team or nothing, dude, but whatever, we got to talk about it, man. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Chelsea. Chelsea, let's go. Let's do this. Champions League final. Chelsea versus Man City. Let's do it. Honestly, that match is going to be a hell of a match to watch, and I'm super excited for it, and I'm rooting for my team, dude. And honestly, we got a lot of talent on the roster. We got a lot of talent, and I think it just comes down to, and Man City's got a lot of talent. The roster is filled with superstars. I think it's going to be a match where it's going to have to be tactical. A lot of things, these guys are all like on both sides, very talented, very diverse set of skills, but I think it's going to have to go down to like tactics if you want to, because it's like, and these two teams are so close. If you were to play, probably if you were to play them 100 times, run it in a simulation, I don't know, it'll probably be split somewhere in the middle, 50-50 or like 60-40 back and forth, Man City versus Chelsea. Are all these like top competitive teams, right? When you run them in a simulation, it'd be interesting. But like if you were to just like say one time and like in a particular setting and everything, I don't know. I'm obviously rooting for Chelsea. I don't know. Like Man City is a hell of a team, and it's gonna be on, man. It's on. It's gonna be a tight race, I'll tell you that. But that's the thing I've always had. I love soccer. You guys know this by now. But my favorite league to follow is the EPL, because I find it to always be the most. It's the fastest league. It's the most competitive. It's so that, and yeah, the other clubs are really good. The other leagues are really cool too. I'll have my eye out on La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, France League One, and all that jazz. But for the most part, I've always grown up. I've always watched the EPL, and I'm so I'm just like, oh. One day, I've never actually attended a live match, dude. I'd love to be able to go to a live game when everything opens up. Hopefully, we'll get to do a little bit of in time. No set schedule, in time, taking our time, doing things slow. But that's what it is, man. So I'm rooting for my team, and hopefully, we'll get to lift the trophy. And if no, well, it's not, yeah, whatever. No pressure, no nothing. You guys know what you're doing. Gonna have to, just be smart. Pace yourselves, be smart, and you guys know what you're doing. Honestly, I think we got a great shot, but then again, Man City, it's definitely going to be a challenging game. It's not going to be an easy win for either side, I'll tell you that. also a lot of exciting fights coming up in the UFC, dude. Very excited. Ton of stuff to do, but at the same time, I'm trying to just, also find ways of kicking up the gear, kicking up the pace, but I gotta, pace myself and be patient. All in all, we're on the right track. I don't honestly, I'm just very thankful and very grateful. All I'm trying to do is learn, and I'm very new at this game, so it's I look at everybody and try to learn from everyone, and in different realms too, not just comedy and storytelling. In different realms, I try to extract the best of everybody. And yeah, just forgive when people fall short, and it's a little something that's kind of been on my mind. I guess maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. Maybe you guys have heard about it too. I'm gonna talk a little bit about cancel culture, I guess, and the extreme woke left and all that stuff, and how it impacts, I guess, storytelling or comedy and life in general. Let's break it down, and this might not be sufficient enough to get everything in one, but that's the thing, that's the beauty of it, man. We're here every week and we're going to build on it and grow and expand on our ideas, and everything that I say, I do sometimes jot down notes or write ideas, but most of the things I say is just right out of the top of my head. It's not anything, and that's how a lot of people in this field I'm learning is they do it. I mean, there's different methods of doing it, but a lot of things, that's the thing with cancel culture and stuff like that. I wanted to do storytelling, and I still want to do storytelling and comedy because I felt like it's one of the very rare few places or opportunities that I'll get to be as genuine as possible, as uncensored and as unfiltered and as raw as possible of a version of myself that I can be. Because I wouldn't get to do what I do in maybe a corporate setting or a place filled with many different bosses and management and this, that, and the other. And for me to hear stories concerning cancel culture and comedy and storytelling, here's the thing, I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. Cancel culture, let's break it down because it's got different portions, right? Let's break it down, try to unpack it a little bit with each other, try to make sense of it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to make sense of it so I can do a decent job down the line. When it comes to words and people getting canceled for it, or sentences, especially in a comedic sense or a storytelling sense with a audience and it's a performance of sorts, I honestly could not care less what you say. And if, again, there's so many ways we could break it down. Here's the thing, if anybody ever said to me, if I ever attend a comedy show or a storytelling event or whatever, performance arts piece, if you will, whatever it is, I'm not gonna, if I choose to go see something, I'm not gonna get mad or upset at the outcome of I should probably already know what to expect. And with arts is where you push the boundaries and make people question stuff and make people uncomfortable, and I've had to readjust and learn a lot as I'm going along because, again, I'm very new at this. But it's here's the thing, realistically it becomes certain things that really need to be canceled should get canceled. For example, but it's not anything to do with words or anything, it's mostly actions. If you're it's a prominent example, if you're, I don't like tossing out names, forget about the names, let's say you've either killed or raped or you've done something extremely severe in society to hurt other people, then you should be canceled, or you should face some repercussions. But for just simple words and sentences, when somebody's trying to make a joke, or I think you should let people say whatever they want, and you should let the audience decide. That's what it is. If you want to like jam with that, or if you jive with somebody or something, go attend, go support it, be a part of it, help it grow. And if you're gonna get there and be sensitive with all your feelings and like take things personally as if it's like, I don't like that stuff. I don't like that. There's a fine balance, right? We gotta find that it shouldn't like lean so far back and forth between the extremes where we actually lose sight of here's the thing, because like initially you had the woke culture, like the extreme left coming out and like calling everybody out on everything, this, that, and like yes, you can perpetuate this to the point of, again, irrational rationality, right? Where you're wrong, that person's bad, that's wrong, and it's eventually going to come full circle and you're going to take a hit as well. So yeah, you've heard it. I think it was Dave Chappelle who said it, like, you can't be woke enough, and I 100% agree with that. It makes complete sense. Nobody can be perfect. We can all strive to do good things, but everybody's human and we're all gonna fall short at one point or another. So I don't like bullshit cancel culture. I don't like flimsy little, like, oh, they said this and my feelings are hurt. Like, if you like, everybody should have like, if something can be mended or like fixed one-on-one or within a group, do it. Be men and women, be grown-ups about it. Don't be little babies and like just run around like tattletale, oh, I'm so upset about it. And then what does this do? This actually, like, the perpetuation of false flag raising leads to the actual evasion of the times where we actually do need to like really go after somebody or something that is, causing some sort of large social disturbance. Like little tiny like phrases or sentences or jokes, and the comics too. What I like, again, I'm learning, but I'm just like, don't give into this BS. Like, that's the thing. And to be honest, like, I've not seen, for the most part, if I'm being 100% like honest, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys about this, most of the people that go through some sort of like cancel culture upheaval, like, come out and at the end like benefiting from this. It becomes more of like any publicity's good publicity sort of thing, because if it's not like a big enough reason for you to actually like, have to like face a consequence of sorts, again, for like a murder or like a rape or something, then it's just like, what are we getting mad at? For a sentence, for a word? It's like, and you're just giving attention, and it's fine, get attention. And this all kind of coincides with other topics I think I've been hearing, and we've been kind of talking about it. I'm trying to learn, and my perception before, and I've had to, I guess, adjust a little bit of what I take in and what I want to utilize in my work, and like the phrases that'll come up is like punching up and down. Punching up and down. What do I like to do? First of all, because I'm very new at this and I can't even call myself anything, or like, it's just like rites of passage that I gotta go through. So I can navigate my way and like do things my way, but there's definitely gonna be alternative ways of doing things, and I like it that way. I don't care for which way you punch, whether it's up or down. I just mostly care about a certain level of, I guess, like maybe taste or class to it. You know what I mean? Because like, you could be tasteless or like classless when you're like punching up or down. It doesn't even matter. But like the perception, I guess, the misperception that I had before was that if you're punching down, then you're kind of going for in my mind, that's how I viewed it. I'm like, that's the easy way out. That's the cheap shot. You're coming in from a place of advantage and you're just like poking fun in a one directional manner. That's like a cheap shot. But if you're punching down equally and distributing that across the board, I'd be completely cool with that. For me, again, as a new beginner, like trying to like learn and do this, I have to readjust and learn what I wanted to do. Is my notion of like doing storytelling and comedy is to be uplifting and bringing people together, and I'm learning, man. That's the thing. I want other people to lead by good example. Like, show me better ways of you punching down, but the thing that I had, the issue that I've had, I guess, with punching down before was like whenever I see like an argument made and it's just like it's being attacked only from one side, that to me is punching down. But if there's an argument and you're punching down from one side and then you go and shift and punch down, I guess, from other sides, then you're not even necessarily punching. It's just, I don't like essentially hypocritical statements. And we're all hypocrites, but it's just like as comics, as storytellers, I would hope that we try to call our own BS and other people's BS in a funny manner, though not to like hold judgment or like be like, oh, you're failing as a human, like you did this wrong, or like you could do, you know what I mean? It's just like, let's, my whole initial thing from the get-go was like, let's point out the inconsistencies in our own daily lives and bigger societal things so we can get beyond like the little surface issues and actually like fix the problems that we're facing. That's the whole essentially, to me it was like comedy. The people that I grew up watching were like really impacted me were like, you know, the ones that were saying impactful shit, like, and it didn't even matter which way they were punching. It was just like, man, like I could name so many, and the list for me is very long because there's like, for me in my mind, I've got goats in different realms and in different, like, there's somebody that, you know, I don't want to just name drop because like that's whatever it is, like that's very important, I think, to keep in mind. And that was something like a learning lesson for me as well this week, because like prior to this I was just like, oh, try to like come from a place of, I guess, higher ground, and like not to like, that's just on me, that shouldn't be anybody else's. Or like if you want to like, everybody, like, you do you, boo boo, you do you punch down, you punch sideways, up, and like make fun of each other too. And like I completely want to be, at one point when I do enter the stage, I'm ready to take it all in, whether it's a heckle that'll come from an audience member, whether down the line we get to mingle and like interact with other comics, whoever it is. Like if you want to, if that's your thing, and like I can learn something from you and hopefully I can like return that back somehow, let's do it. It's like, all I know is that I'm, as a newbie, as somebody who's trying to learn, it's just like take it in steps, and I like to maybe have my foundations in something in a way that I've envisioned it that's a little bit different. And like that's the thing, there's so many different comics, there's so many different storytellers, everybody's doing their thing. It should never be just one form anyway. But this whole fear that we put in our own heads of like cancel culture doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. I've not seen one person that's been canceled actually get canceled, dude, unless they've done something horrific. You know what I'm talking about? But like for saying words and sentences and like doing like, unless you've done something horribly wrong and you've gone like, you've ended up going to like jail for it, that then you're canceled. Okay. But if you're like, if whoever your management, if your group doesn't jive with whatever, that's like a learning lesson for you too. Then you just learn that, you know what, they're not cool beansies and they don't want your best interest. They're only using you up until the point that you can, you know, benefit them. And if you step out of a certain line, they'll drop you. Whether, and I've seen this, I've seen it in different, like you see it in like, you'll, people who just like drop each other, who don't have each other's backs. And that's the thing, me entering or trying to enter this new realm of storytelling, comedy, I'm a part of this community, and I see it as a part of I see us as like a brotherhood and like a sisterhood sort of a community. I'll have your back if you've got my back. That's essentially it. And I don't ever, I will never go after anybody's, like, if I poke fun at you, it's coming from a place of fun. But I've not even started to do that. But if I ever do, it's coming from a place of love and like, the intention is not, I don't ever want to like, my thing is like, I don't ever want to like character assassinate anybody. You know what I mean? I don't want to just like ruin someone's career, because I also don't want my career to be one day ruined by some, like, you know, somebody who got offended by something that I said, because I could totally one day, you talk for a period of time, you're going to end up saying something. You know, you look at the people who are now like, have gone to certain places or gotten to the higher echelons of the game, if you will, and the love, and like people will come after, like, oh, well, they said this in this context and I'm taking it out of like context and getting offended, or they have, it's, no, dude, again, if this, yeah, we can definitely never be woke enough, but that's not to say that we shouldn't be aware of things. That's not to say that we shouldn't, like, that's the only thing that I've had. My issue with punching down was like, I just didn't like simple one-sided punching in one direction. But I do see a shift. Definitely people are changing their attitudes and their tones, and they're realizing that it's just like, yeah, we do, all of us, whether personally or in groups, have always had a little bit of like biases, and it's just good to be aware of them. It's just good to check all sides. It's just like, because if you're only making fun of one thing from one angle, then it's like, it becomes like an example of this would be like what a lot of major like news outlets, or I guess not even news outlets, they were entertainment, but we take them up as news, and so you would just like hear the name Trump left, right, and center all the time, like punching down Trump, punching down Trump, punching down Trump, he's the worst, he's the dumbest, he's the blah 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 blah, and then like no examination of the other side, or like that's the only thing that I'm saying. Let's have a level playing field is all I'm trying to say, and I'm learning, but it's very exciting, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I would love for people to like, that's the thing, I don't want to cocoon myself, and I hope nobody wants to, especially if you're like trying to enter this. And again, I'm at the very early stages, and I haven't even like done anything in terms of like being on stage, being in front of a crowd. All of this is right now in an online realm, but one day when things do open up and I do take those other steps and hopefully attempt to go out there and like make whatever it is that I'm trying to make, whether it's whatever it is. That's the thing. I don't want us to be so worried about like words and sentences. We should just let people talk and like listen and give people the space to come out and fix something. And if it's like something, man, what about like Freudian slips? What about if somebody were to just like have a Freudian slip, dude? What if somebody were to say something, and are we gonna know like, oh no, they said this one thing, and it's like, okay, but what was the intention? Was it coming from a place of like hate and like pure ignorance and like wanting to like destroy and like, you know, diminish or dehumanize, or was it like a legitimate like a human mistake that happens all the time? And like, this could be a word, or it could be a sentence, or whatever. Or like, you got to be more lenient with people, and you got to like stop calling out BS cancels, so that we can actually use the cancels when they matter. Like when somebody does something horrific, we can actually be like, okay, this person is not good for society, let's not have them be whatever. So let's not perpetuate like a boy who cried wolf mentality, right? Every other week, oh, this person's canceled, or that person, what canceled? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stop giving into this from both sides. The people who are taking it as the target, stop taking it, like come out strong, just put your like foot down, be a man or be a woman about it, whatever, and like move on. And like, whoever doesn't want to ride with you, forget them. There's plenty of other people you can go and entertain and be friends with and be a part of a community. And like, it's not coming nothing like, most people are good people, man. That's the thing. Like, I don't like clout chasing, I don't like BS, false flag raising, virtue signaling, extreme wokeness, where you yourself become a victim later on, and you also like you kind of morph into what you've initially wanted to go against, which is like inequality. It's like, well, have some balance. Let's just have some balance. That's what I'm trying to get to. But all in all, I think I needed to get that off my chest, because like every week I'm learning so much. I'm trying to like improve upon what I do, and yeah, I gotta just, you know, be patient. And again, I do want to reiterate, punch whichever way you want to punch, and punch up, punch down, punch in the middle, kick, scream, bite, pull ears, do whatever that makes you happy, dude. It's just the intention that goes behind it and the context. If you go up in a grocery store and pick a random person and start yelling profanities at them, chances of you getting your ass kicked are pretty good, and it's granted that you deserved it. You know what I mean? But if it's like, look at the setting, look at the context, look at look at the big picture, look at don't take little excerpts off each other. And it's like, I don't want to live in that world of a gotcha society. Oh, gotcha. Oh, you slipped up, gotcha. It's like, because this snitch society where it's like, oh, if you see any like, and we see it, we gotta fight back, dude. If you see it in the rhetoric, if you see it in the discourse, if you see it out there, and like, we shouldn't be fighting. And most people want to be collaborating, working together. It's just the little discourses that gets, from the top down. You put a lot of ambiguity and then you leave it up for the people to decide. Like, I can give you an example of this, and this could be viewed because we need more clarity, and like things have progressed quite a bit right now. It's been what, 15, 16 months now. I'll give you a personal example of what's a social ambiguity of how people can be pitted against each other. So up until now, it was just like, we came to learn that it's common knowledge that if you're going in shared spaces, wear a bandana or a mask or whatever. But now it's like we have gotten the vaccines. We know that, everybody should have personal responsibilities and everybody should also have personal freedoms. This can't go on forever. We do need to pick a date and set it and forget it and burn the damn masks, put it away, whatever it is. But right now, because we're doing it in steps and it's not like clear as to what should be done, I'll go in my elevator, for example, and read a note that's dropped in by the management saying that, if you see somebody nowadays that's not wearing a mask, it's not mandatory because you don't know their underlying health conditions. So also it's like, but at the bottom of the letter also says, but if you do see somebody without wearing a mask, and if you do happen to have a concern, go ahead and write your concern or whatever too. It's like, so we're creating this little ambiguous situation where it's like, it's not your business, but also if you want to complain about it, here's where you complain about it. And it's just like, what are we doing? Again, creating these little like notions of like snitching, or of like a gotcha moment where you can like point fingers and be like, oh, your mask slipped, or your brain slipped, you had a brain fart and you said something, or you were even trying to do something. A lot of times, like, I'll find myself as a storyteller or like a wannabe comic. My goal is to have fun and make something sound funny. And sometimes it doesn't come out the way I intended. Like, that's the thing. And that's where you need to have especially in the artistic world and the creative world, you need to have leeway. If you're going there as a participant, whether you're just an audience member or if you're collaborating with somebody on some level, and then like, if you got to be able to like figure things out one-on-one or in a group in a proper manner. Not everything needs to be disclosed publicly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like clout chasing. I don't like BS cancel culture. Like, when it actually matters, call out somebody's, like, if somebody's doing major like sex trafficking across the globe, let's call that shit out. Let's get these people, like, let's go after them. For like little storytellers here and there, let's give everything the importance and attention that it deserves. No more, no less. Let's not make false idols of each other. Let's not lift each other up to the heavens and then watch it all burn down because we like watching a train wreck. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, and we've already been doing that, but let's get it, like, it's good to be aware. It's good to be aware of a lot of things. At the same time, nobody can be aware of everything. Nobody can be. That's the thing. We need to let each other just be human. That's all I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, this one goes out specially to the Patreon fans, but of course it's going to be released on YouTube and Instagram for the time being. And if you like what you see, and if you don't like what you see, it doesn't matter, because there's millions of other people that you could go check out making and creating content. But if you happen to like this and you want to support your boy, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube by searching Rob Sadri. Over there you'll find the full-length videos, and it'll also be posted on Patreon. And if you really want to support your boy, and if you want to get involved in any shape or form, there's like 3 tiers. There's different systems, all manipulated and constructed to benefit you or something, dude. Go ahead and get involved. Talk about it. Talk about your friends and family members. Tell everybody, hey, come here. Let's sit down and watch the show together. What are you doing? Is what you should be saying. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I love you. Thank you all for your love and support. We're going to be back here definitely on Monday, but between Monday, you might get another surprise. And if not, we'll definitely see each other back here on Monday. Stay safe out there. Rock and roll, everybody. See y'all soon. Peace out.